Hey, it's Captain Matt, and welcome to my series for National Safe Boating Week. As we head into Memorial Day, I'm super excited to share some information that especially you new boaters will need to know. Let's first start with life jackets. One of the first things we want to talk about is how to get a proper fitting life jacket. Now, if you have kids that are under the age of 12, they're required to wear them while underway. So what does that mean? As I have two girls of my own that are 9 and will be 12 here coming this June. This was our very first one that we got at the Charlotte Boat Show for our youngest daughter, who's going to be 12 soon. And you'll notice this is an infant life jacket. It's got the little pillow, so because they can't control their head very well, it's going to allow that to support. If they're in the water, it'll keep their face above water. It's got a little strap to go through their legs. This is a neoprene one, and it worked great. Our youngest one wore it, and our oldest one wore it as well. And we still have it just in case we have a young kid come on the boat. But what I like about these jackets is this one is neoprene, and it worked real well. My oldest was born in June. She started wearing hers in July. We went to the Lake of the Ozarks within a month of her being born, and this was the jacket that she wore when we were on the boat. As they moved up, you move into the next size. This is 30 to 50 pounds, and this is what I call a toddler life jacket. You still have the little clip that can go under their leg so it doesn't slip up over their head, and it also has this nice handle. I like this. If they fall in the water, which my youngest one did, she fell in, I was able just to grab this and pull her right out. She was screwing around on the dock, slipped in the water, not paying attention, and that is why we have a rule. If you're on the dock as a kid, you always have your life jacket on. As they've gotten older, we've gotten a little more lax. These are the jackets they've just grown out of. We have a couple of different sizes of these, and this is the 50 to 90 pound version. And my youngest outgrew it at about 9 years old. This is the first year she's going to need a new one. My oldest is a little bit thinner, and at 11, she was still wearing this. And this year, she just went over the 90 pound mark. So make sure you've got the right size, and also make sure, especially for kids, that it fits well. One thing that we did is we actually tried several different life jackets to find one that fit them well. But one thing that worked really well is my youngest would chafe, and so we got her a swim shirt. We put the swim shirt under, put this on, and all the chafing was gone. It worked well, and we required them to wear them all the time. Remember, 12 and under have to wear them when they're underway, but as a parent, as the captain of your boat, you can make whatever rules in addition to that you want. Ours was, if you're on the dock or out, you're wearing your life jacket, no questions asked, and that worked well. The other thing that we did that worked well for us was we had 2 life jackets for each kid. We had the swimming life jacket, and then we had the dry life jacket that we used when we were coming back at nighttime. So that one always stayed dry, and they could put them on. We also did this little trick where we wrapped them up in a towel, kind of swallowed them, and then they would put their life jacket over that, and that kept them warm. So we also, when our kids were younger, we used the puddle jumpers. Now, we used the puddle jumpers as our wet life jacket when we just got out and were swimming around. That seemed to work really well. They could use their arms a little bit better. They weren't so bobby and top heavy. But then we used the good solid fitting life jackets when we were underway as our dry life jacket, and that seemed to work well. So make sure that they're U.S. Coast Guard approved. The ones we have on the site are, but if you like that style and your kids are more comfortable, hey, listen, they have to wear them when you're underway. So make sure you get one that's good and comfortable, and I promise you it'll avoid the whining and the complaining. And if you have just a strict policy of you have to wear it at all times, that really reduces the complaining. So that's the kids' life vest, and everything else that we'll talk about will apply there as well. Now, let's move to adult life jackets. So I've got several. As you can see, most of ours are the neoprene kind. This is what I like. You can see this looks like it may be a little small, but in reality, what I like about the zipper vests is it zips right up. It is nice and snug, but that's the way I like it. I don't have to worry about it riding up, and when it gets wet, it's going to expand just a little bit. And for me, I like to keep my life jacket nice and snug because I usually have 2 little girls that are hanging all over me, and this keeps me nice and comfortable. And I like the twin buckles. When you're lake boating, when you're floating in the water, these are great. They're super comfortable. They fit me real well. And find one that's going to fit well for you. You also can go with the extra life jackets on your boat. You can go with the universal. You'll see that this is split. It's not sized. It's just going to be for anybody that is over 90 pounds, and it goes from a 29 to a 79-inch waist. This is something that's great to have on board. Yes, the orange ones, they'll keep you legal, but having these universal life jackets on board are just great for your guest. They can have a comfortable life vest, and they can adjust it to their size. Just adjust the straps and it will work. And you can see it's open on the side, so it's going to fit virtually anybody that's an adult and over 90 pounds. This is the nylon kind. The neoprene or quick dry, they'll call it. I think that's what they call the full throttle ones that we offer on the store. But this nylon kind this is what I wore as a younger kid, and these are great. They're very durable as well. When it comes to fit, I like a nice snug fit, and I do like the ones with the zippers, but you can also get the additional buckles to give you a nice fit, nice tight fit. Let me show you one. This is a zipper. Zipper and 2 buckles or 4 buckles are kind of my preferred for an adult. But if you notice, this seems like it fits, but what happens when I get in the water is this can potentially come right off like a shirt. If you get in a bad situation, if your life jacket's too big, it's going to slip off and it can be a problem. It can be dangerous. Now, if you're fishing, if you're out in a coastal environment, you're on a flats boat or a really shallow gunnel boat with not much freeboard, you're more standing on top of the boat than in it. I like these. This is a Mustang. This is the one I wear when I'm running captain at Towboat US. And what I like about these is they're nice and easy, but they don't really obstruct. I can work, I can handle lines, I can jump around on the boat from boats to docks and boat to boat, and I can do all of the work that I need to. If I was to fall in the water, it's got an automatic inflate. There's a little canister back in here that needs to be changed out periodically. Make sure that it's charged up. It's also got a manual pull. I can pull it and it will inflate, and that will keep me above the water. It's also kind of got a big neck pillow back here that pops out. I really like these if you're fishing, if you're out by yourself, if you're, like I said, if you're running offshore and you're in a boat that doesn't have much gunnel. This is a great way. Have your life vest on, be safe, and still be relatively comfortable. In addition to those styles, you'll find that some life vests are made for paddle sports, that they'll be cut different. You've got pet life jackets. You've got jackets that are made for fishing with pockets and places to put lures and things like that. So you also want to make sure not only do you get the right style, but that you get the type that is going to be most appropriate for the activity that you're doing. For some people, they say, wear your life jacket at all times. If you're on the water, wear your life jacket. It's going to go against what the safety experts preach. Here's my rule of thumb, is wear your life jacket when the conditions are appropriate and require it. So when I'm going through an inlet in any style of boat, I put my life jacket on. If I'm in a situation where the conditions are not optimal, I put my life jacket on. If I'm running my boat by myself, I'll typically have my life jacket on. If I'm running in like I said, a bass boat or a flats boat or even some of the bay and hybrid boats, I'm probably going to have my life jacket on most of the time. When I'm running a pontoon on an inland lake or a big bow rider on an inland lake and I'm deep inside the boat, the conditions are perfect, then I'm just going to have my life jacket out and nearby. So I want you to use the common sense approach, something that we seem to be losing in this country a little bit, with everybody saying you have to be, prepared for the worst at all times. Yes, that can be true, but I would rather that you just get in the habit of wearing your life jacket in those situations where, hey, this is a little bit tougher of a situation. This is a little bit more challenging environment. This is an environment where if something went wrong, it can go from 0 to disaster in a second. Those are the times that I want you to wear your life jackets. If it's a perfect day, you're out cruising, you're in a comfortable area, the conditions are appropriate, make sure that the 12 and under are wearing them. As children, you never know what they're going to do. But as an adult, use your common sense. Make sure you have a good fitting life jacket. Make sure you have the right number of life jackets for everybody on board, and make sure they fit everybody on board. That's going to be my practical boater safety advice. What I teach in the Best Boat Captain and all of my programs is practical safety, not over the top safety, but practical safety. And so I hope this was valuable for you. If you want We have life jackets. You can find them somewhere on this page probably, and find a link if you need some jackets for the season. Go ahead and check them out. We've got the nylon, we've got the quick dry, we've got the zipper, and also make sure that, especially if you do surfing and water sports, some of those vests are not U.S. Coast Guard approved, and they don't count for your number of approved life jackets. So make sure that on the inside that you have this in the United States. That's going to be the approved. Make sure it's the right size, and everything else that you need to know, you'll have that inside the life jacket, the weight, the chest size, and if it's Coast Guard approved. And I wanted to share a little trick for stowing and carrying your life jackets. One of the things that we do that makes it a little easier to take our gear to the boat and maneuver it is we will kind of do a Russian nesting doll with our life jackets. You want to make sure if you're doing this for a long period of time that you keep them nice and dry. But what we'll do is we'll go big to small, and you just open them all up and you lay them out, and then you can either buckle or zip depending on what size your jackets are. And you can see I've just taken these 3 life jackets and I've made them into a bundle. Then we put my wife and I's on, and now we've got this little bundle that we can carry all 4 life jackets, and it's nice and easy. Like I say, make sure that they're dry, because what you don't want to do is put them away like this and then have mold and mildew start growing on them and getting a little smell to them. But this is a great way to just keep them together, keep them wrapped up, and then you can throw them in the boat, everybody unhooks them, and you're off and running. And as we're talking about life jackets, don't forget your throwable device. Again, this is required to have a throwable device on all vessels that are running, and make sure that it's in easy reach. I either use it as a seat cushion or I set it right beside me on the boat, so if something happens, I can get that out and I can throw it to somebody in need. Thanks a lot, and look for the next video in our National Safe Boating series.